Today we're going to be taking a quick look at the Sigma 100-400 f5 to 6.3 OS lens in the Fujifilm X mount. This is essentially the L mount, E mount version of the 100-400 but adapted for Fuji XF. And normally that's a little bit annoying because lenses that are created for full frame sensors are normally bigger than they need to be for APS-C. But actually in this specific situation, that's not the case. You don't really have to compromise. The Fujifilm lens, the 100-400, which is really the direct competitor for this, is actually heavier. The Fujifilm is 1,375 grams, and this is 1,135 grams. So there's actually a significantly big difference between them, and this is lighter. So normally, the thing you'd be annoyed at with it not being designed specifically for APS-C, you don't have to worry about. Now the Fujifilm is a little quicker. It's a 4.5 to 5.6 lens, so up at 400mm, it's a 5.6 minimum aperture. This is a 5 to 6.3, but again, that is a marginal difference. It really doesn't make a huge amount of difference for your shooting. So all in all, not too worried about the fact that it's an adapted full frame lens. Inside the lens, we've got 22 elements in 16 groups. That includes 4 super low dispersion elements and an FLD element as well. All of that is there to just get you the best resolving power possible, you know, remove aberrations, distortion. You've also got the Sigma multi-layer coating as well to help reduce ghosting and flaring. It does actually deal with the flaring quite well. I couldn't force a huge amount. If you find that you're shooting f/16 into the sun a lot, you might get quite a bit of ghosting with this lens, but I feel like that's unlikely. And also it comes with this massive lens hood as well, so it can just help with any light that's coming in from the sides. You really shouldn't have too many issues. The bokeh is fine from this lens. Got a bit of onion ringing. It's not the cleanest, but it's usable. I would say the out of focus areas are pretty smooth, especially like moving from the sort of in focus to out of focus, it's pretty smooth. You can create some great subject definition. You can see here, I've got a shot here where the subject is very defined from the background. So when you're shooting at that 400mm end, you can create quite a bit of depth in your image. Overall, I quite like the look of the lens. I wouldn't say it's like particularly scrumptious, but it's pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with the clarity coming through from this lens. It's really detailed, even when you're shooting at sort of f5 or 6.3 at the other end. It's nice, you get a lot of detail coming through, it's clear. All in all, I'm happy with the quality of the images. I assume it's because this is a full frame lens and obviously the projection of light coming through is quite large and that's going onto an APS-C sensor. So it's right in the center of that, it's getting the best of the best. I found that the corners and the edges were really, really sharp too. There was almost, you know, not really much drop off at all when you consider the price point of this lens. So I was really happy with that. But here are some images, you take a look, see what you think. One compromise with this lens is the autofocus, and that's not that it's bad, it's actually quite accurate, it's nice to use, it's just a little slow. Inside we have stepping motors rather than linear motors, which just means if you're doing something like moving right from the back of the frame to the front of the frame, or vice versa with your focusing, it can just feel a little on the slow side. Now that is where really that competitor, the Fujifilm original 100-400 steps up, because that has linear focusing motors, so it's a lot snappier when it comes to autofocus. If you don't mind it being maybe a little bit more sluggish, then this might do you perfectly, but it's just worth keeping in mind that that's probably, I would say, the defining feature between these two lenses. I find a 100-400mm focal length incredibly versatile. In fact, I'm a nightmare. When I have one, I sort of don't take it off the camera. But you have to remember this isn't a straight up 100-400. This is going onto a cropped frame sensor. This is made for APS-C, so you need to take that 1.5 times crop into account. And realistically, this is going to effectively be a 150-600. I think personally this lens is going to be incredibly popular with wildlife shooters, and for wildlife in a lot of instances it's the more reach the better, so I don't think that's going to be seen as a downside whatsoever. Now if you do need to get a little bit close to things, maybe you're shooting butterflies or something like that, some insects nice and close up, you can't really get like macro. I mean, you can sort of. At the lowest end, so at 100mm, the minimum focusing distance is 1.12 meters. At 400mm, it's 1.6 meters. It's not terrible. You can still get some nice close-ups, create some depth there, but I wouldn't say it's, you know, buy it for macro. It's more of, you can shoot some macro images with it, but I wouldn't say that's its main use. One thing I see as a little bit of a negative is that it doesn't come with a tripod collar. So it has this like rubber ring around where the tripod collar can go, because you can buy one optionally, but it doesn't come with it, which I find a little bit annoying. It's not a super heavy 100 to 400, so I get it, I do get it. I'm sure the mount can handle it, but I just feel like if I was out shooting all day and I had to either hold the camera like that walking along, or it was sitting on its strap and it's hanging down all day, I would prefer to have a tripod collar that I could hang on to. Or if I was a wildlife photographer predominantly and I was using a nice fluid head with it or something, it would be nice to have the tripod collar attached and not having to pay extra for that. So I think they could have included that in the box. On the plus side, the rubber ring is a nice rubber ring. You know, it's pretty, but it's just not a tripod collar. It might be a small lens, but they do pack a lot in. So first off, we've got a lovely smooth zoom ring and a very smooth manual focus ring as well. They're nicely weighted, they just feel great. And actually, when you have the lens hood attached, it has this little divot in here. So if you want to push pull it, you can, and it's actually quite comfortable. In terms of controls, we have a lock for the zoom, which is great, so you won't get lens creep over time if you own this lens for a while. You've got an AF lock and AF switch. When you put it into AFL, it means you can use the Fujifilm XF switch, which a lot of people use, that override on there. We've got a focus limiter, we've got a custom function button, and at the bottom, just there, we've got an optical stabilization switch, and you can switch from off, you can put it in setting 1, which means stabilization in all directions, and you've got number 2, which is made for panning. All in all, I think this is actually a really strong offering from Sigma. It's compact, it's well built, it's fully loaded with, you know, every control you need. I would have liked the tripod collar included in the box, but that's not a big deal. It's nice and light. It's got a 67mm filter thread, it's so dinky. I think it works with the Fujifilm range really well. I mean, this is an X-T5, but you imagine this with like an XH2S, for example. It's just gonna work really nicely. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure to pop it in the comments, or if you've got any questions, you can pop them there as well. We'll try our best to get back to you with any information that you need. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, let us know, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. We've got tons more of this stuff coming your way. Also, if you've got some kit that you're maybe looking at, you know, trading in, maybe getting something like this set up, then make sure to pop onto the MPB website. You can get a quote really, really quick. But for now, a massive thank you for watching, and I hope you join me again soon for some more videos from MPB.